Hi. 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 Hello. Hello. Hi. You need an adult. I am an adult. Hey, Katajan. Hey, Metal. Hey, Mercury. Hey, Zombitron. How is everyone doing? You're my town and you're seeing all the pieces. Do you not have the instructions? Just do it one by one. Take your time. It's not as complicated as it looks. I know it can be overwhelming. But just take it one bit at a time. One model at a time. I believe in you. You got this. But they don't explain anything. Do they not have, like, the part? Show pictures of the parts that go together? I believe you can do it. I haven't built Tau in years, though, so I don't know what their new kits are like. Or if you've got new kits or old kits. Because I know quite a lot of the Tau range is fairly old. From what I understand, all Warhammer instructions tend to just be pictures with numbers on the different parts. And those numbers should kind of match numbers on the sprues, right? What the fuck is a Necron warrior? This is a Necron warrior, Katachan. This is a Necron warrior. It's not on the painting table today, but it might be. If we really finish all of these really easily, because, like, Necrons aren't long to paint. They're very quick. Also, Omnissiah, forsake your organic ass. Lol, there is no Omnissiah here. Pictures don't help. There's 200 parts that all look the same. Each part should have a number on it. Every single part should have a number on it. So it's just about finding the numbers that match where the instructions tell you to the bit goes, right? I believe in you. You can do it. No one can find it for you. You've got the bits. You just have to sift through it, little by little. A13 goes with A17. A17 looks the same as A18. It doesn't matter if A18 looks the same. There's always a lot of, like, especially when you're doing squads, there's always a lot, but they're designed to fit with those specific parts it says. So just focus on the exact things. You were making a silly joke about what the fuck is insert random game here. Oh, that's true. Sorry, I was being silly. Wow. So anyway, I started painting. And we're gonna start with just some nice metallics. We're gonna start with the Overlord, because the Overlord has the most gold on him. I'm gonna start with our favorite metallics. Our smart color, ionic smart color paints. I fucking love these. They're just very cool. They're like contrast paints, but they're not contrast paints. They don't do the same thing. But it's more like they have lots of layers inside the color. So it has really nice kind of gradiating colored properties that's not really like a lot of different things out there. I think that it makes them the perfect kind of metallic paint, in my opinion. And it is just an opinion. Man, I need to take better care of my shitty brushes. Me looking, I've got everything ready except the brush I wanted to use. That just sounds like just me, really. Wow. Hey, Chicken. Yeah. You got the combi melter today on Space Marine 2. Fuck yeah. How is it? How is it? I bet it's really fun. I got the special knife, the power knife. So I'm excited to try that out at some point. I don't know when. Also, I just realized I forgot to upload yesterday's VOD. Ah! Callus, why? I'm under attack. I am being attacked by Borgers. Wow. I'm not a rat, fuck you! Wow. You paint Skaven once and everyone starts calling you a rat VTuber. It's bullshit. Wow. You all voted for me to paint the Skaven. Wow. They're not even my Skaven. They're not even my Skaven. That's too thin. Oh, that's the wrong color. No, that's fine. We can just mix them. They're both gold. I mixed the brass with the gold. What bits actually do we want to make gold on this guy? I think what we're going to make his shoulders gold. Just because I think it'll look nice. We're going to make this guy look so much better than the starter set Necron Lord we made. Just because I've got a bit more ideas about how I actually want to paint him. In my brain, I know how he's going to look, and it's going to look very cool. We started out with just a lead belcher primer on this guy. Just a lead belcher primer, and then we used some Vallejo silver to sponge highlight in places. Which I think looks nice. I think it gives a nice graduating kind of effect. I really like the Necron Overlord with Translocation shroud. I think he looks very cool. I'm not a rat, fuck you! Hey, here. You have a knife, you're gonna use a nail. Zombatron. You gotta make sure you get your, you gotta make sure you get some decent hobby tools, okay? You don't want to accidentally damage the miniatures during the construction process. Be careful. Be careful. A nice set of clippers. And a nice set of clippers and some files will go a long way. Hey, fungi. How you doing? Really like this model. We're just going in on all the gold details. So I'm thinking we make his whole weapon, the staff of it, gold. I think that'll look quite cool. I think it'll look very like a royal scepter, kind of, almost. Which I think is going to be aesthetic as fuck. Wow. Get mated on. Lol, is that fungi made emote? Oh my god, that's amazing. Did I ever play Vermintide on stream? I think I did ages ago. Only Melter is worse than the bolter rifle with grenades, because grenades can reach shit. Yeah. I mean, I'm painting these guys, Jikan, in the classic original scheme that they came out in when the Necron range was just one model that you could only get from a very specific White Dwarf magazine issue, which is just their silver. They have a bit of gold on their collary bit, and they have green Gorse weapons, Gorse lighting, and the black weapons, partly. But I am making the Overlords a bit more gold because it's meant to denote status, I imagine. Just to kind of make them stand out and look more important. They got all that flashiness, you know? I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like I'd like a different version of the Necron Overlord with Translocation Shroud. I feel like the posing, while it looks cool, not very practical. I think, like, I like the idea of him being, like, having a bit more of an action-y, like, teleporting in to attack someone kind of pose would look really cool. I think that would go really hard. I don't know how I'd make it, though. I think I'd have to make it from scratch. That might be a fun little project at some point. That might be a fun little project that we may or may not take up. We will see. We will see. So we're going to go in with the gold on all three of these miniatures. And then we're going to see what else we want to do. I say see what else we want to do, like there isn't a lot we actually already want to do. There's a lot. It's a lot to do. But like, again, Necrons are not that hard. Unless they're like big centerpiece models, there's not much to do. So I'm very confident that I can get all three of these miniatures done. Maybe it's because I've chosen a very simplified color scheme for my Necrons. But I think they're very cool. And I kind of like that original striking, like, green and silver, like, that classic Necron 90s color scheme. They were scary. Like, I remember being a kid and being terrified whenever my Dark Angels would go up against Necrons. Because they were just really fucking strong. They only had one unit, but that one unit was just capable of fucking killing everything. And they just get back up and get back up and get back up. It was very cool. I liked it. And that's the kind of connotation I want my Necrons to have. It's a thing like most modern things. Your first time seeing Made... Oh wait, what? That wasn't Made You. I've seen Made You in artwork before. No, that was wasn't that the MILF fungi? Or did you change the Made one to be a little bit more exposed, lol? That's the first time I've seen Femme Fungi's outfit. Honestly, I didn't know that you'd get a model like that. I didn't realize. Anyway. Okay, I think that's all the gold on him for now. We can move on and do the next bit. I need to... Also, another thing I don't like about this model is, do you see how, like, bendy it is? I know that's because a lot of it is, like, negative space to kind of create the teleport effect, but, like, to me, that's a point of concern as to the stability of the miniature. I'm just going to do the Cryptek. The Cryptek should be kind of chill. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we're not going to use oil washers on these guys. I prefer, for individual characters, I prefer to go in with manual washing when I want to do shading, with like inks and whatnot, especially on metallics. But for doing a lot of miniatures in a very short amount of time and getting good results with very little risk, I generally prefer doing oil washers. Just because it lets you do a lot. You get to cover a lot of ground without much of a worry. See, we're going to do the chin thing, ornament in gold. We're also going to do this weird hood thing in gold. We don't want to do too much because Crypteks aren't necessarily as high up on the Necron dynastic food chain as a Pharaon or Overlord would be. Okay, now because we've done this colliery thing, what I think I'll do is I'll just do the cape bits in gold. I really like these ionic paints. They just feel very nice, you know? We will use some oil on these guys later, though. But not for any major bits. We're going to do that with the white like we did on the Void Dragon. Specifically for certain... I just realized I'm painting behind the floof. You've tried several kill teams against your cousin's Death Guard kill team. You've lost every single match. So you play not to win. Death Guard are quite strong though. Don't use your glue on small paint brushes. And you don't necessarily need a brush for your glue, Zombatron. Because you might ruin one of your paint brushes. And you definitely don't want to use it on your detail brushes. You definitely don't want to use it on your detail brushes because you know, you'll need those for certain bits, probably like eye lenses and stuff like that. I would say just be careful. Like, you only need a little bit of glue, so just get a little drop, you know? Line the bit you need, and then stick it on and hold it until it's secure. Now, from what I understand, the Hexmark Destroyer's lore... I'm not sure why Hexmarks are characters, if I want to be honest with you. They're not really, they're not overlords or anything like that. They're not Crypteks. They're literally just, they're Hexmark... They're death marks that have got the Destroyer virus. So it just seems kind of weird that they're in a character slot to me. I don't know if anyone else feels that way who's a Necron fan. But I never understood it when I read their lore. It's just, why is this a character? It's clearly not a character. It's just a guy who's, I guess, is a lone operative. But why is that a character? It makes no sense to me. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Also, another reason why we're not using a lot of oil washers, oil paints for these, is because oil paints don't interact well with ionics. They typically, like, actually just strip them, from what I've seen. When I was painting the Imperial Fist Terminators, I noticed that where I'd used the smart paints, the oil wash actually just completely stripped it right off. And we were just left with the paints underneath the smart paints. Which is a shame. But also, do you see what I mean about how it's not quite a contrast paint, but it has like similar properties to contrast? You can see all of the different like facets of how the paint kind of like splits up into different tones. It's quite nice, honestly. I really like it. It's not like anything else I've used. I don't know that I'd like to use their non-metallic colors, in all honesty, because of that. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. I've also just realized, does this guy have, like, tacit armor? No, he doesn't, because that's all, like, teleporting, fading away, isn't it? What's the Mefrit dynasty? I can't say I know. Also with Kill Team, what does your Jikan, what does your sibling do? Do they just kill your guys, or do they play objectives and win? I know Death Guard are quite strong in the meta in general, because elite kill teams are quite strong, and you kind of have to play around them if you're not playing an elite kill team yourself. I found my most luck comes in kill team with Nemesis Claw, in all honesty. But Nemesis Claw are quite cool, anyway, because, you know, Night Lords are cool. I've got a bit too thick on the paint there, but that's fine. Just spread that out. Now, for the Hexmark, I don't think there's much we actually want to do on this guy. Because of his lore, like, I don't know. I think what we'll do is we'll just give him a gold crest. And maybe a gold visor? Yeah, we'll give him a gold mask. We'll give him a gold mask. But he's not a full character, so it doesn't, as far as I'm concerned. So he's not going to get all the super fancy treatment the others get. Now. What else do I need to do? Now, before we do all the greens, what I do want to do is wash everything down. But before we do that, I think what I need to do is add a little bit more shading in places before we do a wash. The wash should make things nice and simple. I would like, there's a little bit of me that's slightly worried this is going to be a very quick job. But hey, if it's too fast, we can just paint all of these guys. They're like half done. We've got like some Immortals, some Lich Guard. I just primed some Wraiths. The Immortals and Lich Guard are kind of like all half done now. Like, I just need to do the greens and the golds on them. Phantom! Can you see them zoomed in again? Which one did you want to see? The characters? I'm gonna have a look at the characters again. I quite like the Cryptek model. Although this one is specifically a Technomancer. I really like the contrast between the gold and the silver. Like, one is very rich and the other and warm, and the other is quite cold. That one is cool. What about the Gloctopus? I fucking love the Gloctopus, chat. It's one of my favorite kind of character designs. Ooh. I love the Hexmark Destroyer. It's just such a cool little model. I do think I might need to adjust the focus a little bit. You've never seen this with the one with guns? Really? It's a very popular model for armies. It's very meta because It's got Lone Operative, and its ability lets it fire Overwatch for free and hits on a 2+. And it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's more like it's very good at controlling parts of the board. That's why I like it. It's very cool. Yeah, he's Lone Operative, so he can't get shot from outside of 12 inches. He can also teleport around. So, like, if you have him in the Hypercrypt Legion, you just have one or two of these guys, and they're just uppy-downy all game long, shooting the shit out of anything that comes their way. They're great. Also, really cool model. I just wish there was, like, a multi-pose version. That's the only thing I'd like to change about it. Like, I think it's a cool model. I just wish it was easier to pose without doing a huge amount of kit bashing. Then I've got all of, like, a bazillion. I've got 10 Lich Guard and 10 Immortals. I don't know if I'm going to paint these guys tonight. Yeah, it's mono pose, sadly. A lot of the Necron character units seem to be mono pose, and that bothers me. I feel like there's a lot more that could be done with them, you know? But how you doing, Phantom? There are multiple head options, yes. There are 2 different head options that come in the box. But it's kind of compatible with a lot of different kits in the Necron range. You could probably swap it out for something else. So the lore behind this guy is he is a Deathmark that got the Destroyer virus, or whatever it's called. Now that's the whole general lore behind them. Okay. Is this fully dry now? This might take a little while. God. I don't like having to wait for paint to dry to do my next bit. Actually, you know what? While that's drying, actually, what I can do is I can do the little tactical rocks. Because I'm just going to do them in grey, because it's all going to get covered up in it's all going to get covered up with actual rocks later anyway. This is mostly just to mute how it's got a metallic primer. And just to darken it down significantly. Oh. I dipped a bit too much there. One thing I'm wondering is, do I want to base these guys before I do all the green glowy stuff? Maybe. But also not, because it'll take ages for the PVA glue to dry. If I use a hairdryer or a heat gun to make it, like, dry faster, then that'll cause issues with the PVA glue, which shrinks as it dries, and then that'll make some of the debris I use to base it come loose, and then that just kind of defeats the purpose of using it, really. Did I ping Discord, chat? I feel like I did. Lich Guard seem cool too. You've seen them in Dire. Like, Lich Guard are very cool. I really like the Lich Guard models. I do think my main criticism of the miniatures is that I feel that they have very fragile joints on the wrist. So I've had to, a couple of the weapons have snapped off, and that's been kind of annoying. I've had to rebuild them. So for me, I think I don't know, I feel like having Necrons and having such fragile miniatures very much makes me want to get one of those mag case things for transporting my miniatures around. That way I don't have to worry about anything getting booped and falling out of place and the like. At least that's my hope. But also, it's nice because a lot of these mag cases tend to have an acrylic display window, so you can show off your army before it's on the board. Which I kind of like. And also, you don't have to worry about unpacking it because it's basically on display at home, which is cool. I really like that kind of thing about mag cases. And there's a couple of different places that do them these days. And they come in all sorts of sizes. I think what I'd like is to think about it when I get a Necron monolith. I really want to get a Necron monolith one of these days. They're just cool, you know? They're just really cool. They're like the most iconic and terrifying unit the Necrons have ever had. I've always wanted a Necron monolith. Always. Okay, what do I want to do next? Okay, I think that what we'll do is we'll just do a quick little wash. How do I want to do the wash? I'm thinking I'm going to mostly do carbon black. This is going to be a wash that goes... Actually, you know what? No. No. Before we do that, we should do the black on the weapons, which is going to just be carbon black. 2 drops of that thinned with 2 drops of speed paint medium. And that's just going to go on all the little guns that the Hexmark Destroyer has and the staff that the guy has. I could just use contrast paint for this, but I just think inks look nicer in all honesty. That's still too dark, holy crap. I forget how strong some of these pigments are. You just need to really thin them down, otherwise they're just pure because it's pure pigment. And the ratios are never... There we go, that's good. So this should darken down the guns nicely. Okay, we might have thinned it down too much. No. Yes, we have. Okay. Man, trying to find the right ratios is always the hard bit. But it's fine, because we can use this as the basis for our big wash that we're going to do later. Okay, that should be fine. Yeah. That darkens it down a lot nicer. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want it to be somewhat metallic and see-through. We just want it... It's really just to differentiate the parts, you know? And make sure that there's a nice little difference between the metal guns and weapons and the actual main body. Another nice thing is that we're going to tint the wash a tiny bit purple later. Just because I think it'll help with contrast against the green glowy bits. And it's not going to tint the actual model too much. It's more just going to be like a shadow more than anything. And that's just to create some extra contrast. You want that tonal contrast, really. Hey, God King. Hi. It's on cooldown, lol. Receive a bonk instead? What? Ball. Ah. I am unspammable. I didn't realize I'd put a cooldown on these. Did I put a cooldown on them? I might have done when people were just spamming bonks. I did say I might. Because it was like, all I was hearing was spammed bonks. Though I also think one of my mods might have disabled some of the audio things so that I don't get jump scared while I'm painting. Which is nice. I do sometimes need someone to bonk me so that I, like, can pay attention to chat sometimes. But how are you doing? What you been up to? One must keep the tiger. No! No. Illegal. You cannot. Will not. You cannot discipline a cat. It is impossible. Impossible. I do also like that with this and how it uses contrast medium. It does a fantastic job of panel lining all the guns. And if I need to darken it, I just go in with a second coat and it just does it beautifully. Honestly, Liquitex inks have to be my favorite paints. I mean, they're not even paints. You have to turn them into paint by like mixing them with the right kind of medium. Otherwise, they just don't really work on models. But I love them. They're so good. I suppose it's because they're just pure color, aren't they? It can be a bit tricky, though. Okay, that's done. Demi! Self-care is the true discipline. That's true. Oh, fuck, I left my juice in the other room. I left my juice in the other room. Who's watching cute bean paint? Wow. You cannot bonk? Lol, get counted. Hey, Nazco, you brought me some cheese? I see. Why would you bring me some cheese? Explain. Explain for the class why you would choose to bring me cheese, What makes you think I would be interested in your cheese, Are you saying you are cheese to meet me? Understandable. I would be cheesed to meet me too. Okay. But do you see what I mean about like how it looks with just a little bit? It's fantastic. I'm not a fucking rat. Wow. We are painting together today. You're prepping models for speed painting. You're slapping a bunch of dark tonal on them and dry brushing for now. It still counts. That does still count, actually. I mean, all of these are just primed, oil washed, and then sponge highlighted. There's 20 of them sitting in the background. I was hoping to do them before finish them off before the stream, but like, time, innit? Time is a factor. And there's never quite enough of it. Just a tiny bit of dioxazine purple. Why does dioxazine never want to open? It's so annoying. Why don't you want to open? You're my favorite paint, and you hate me. I just want to tint it, just a little bit. Just a little bit of purple. My god. Man. I might just have to give up. That's fine. I don't need dioxazine purple for this. I can just add a tint of magenta. And it'll do the same job. Because it's not a matter of the colour. It's just about adding a little bit of warmth to the shade. Actually, I could probably also get away with adding just a smidge of raw sienna. I'm like a witch with my cauldron. How's that? I think I need just a little bit more raw sienna. And then we just thin it the fuck down. Maybe a little bit more. A little bit more carbon black. And then... okay, that's kind of looking good. It's like a slightly purplish brown, very dark brown, but we're going to thin it even more. A lot. And this is just going to be a sort of all-over wash for the metallic parts. Hopefully this is going to go exactly how I want it. Huh. Surprising amount of purple. Okay, I need to thin this down even more. That is the one thing with mixing inks, is that sometimes it can be a bit of a pain to get the ratios quite the way you want them. Fortunately, if that's the case, you can just reactivate the ink with some medium or some water, and then you can just restart. Probably my favourite thing about working with inks. That is never quite a fully destructive process. Okay, just gonna let this guy done. We might go in with the sponge just a little bit later. Well, maybe not the sponge, but we might do a very slight highlight later down the line. I'm slightly annoyed with how the Ionic Smart Paints are functioning right now.
Do you hear the voices too?
Raiden_Low just followed.
Thank you so much for the follow, Raiden. I hope you have a lovely, lovely time. You're entering a one-page rules monthly paint, and you're getting a small squad of dwarves in steampunk power armor. That's cool. Can you say magenta again? Magenta. Magenta. I suppose some people call it magenta, but it's magenta. Magenta. It's magenta with a G, not magenta with a J. It's like you wouldn't call a GIF a GIF, would you? It's a GIF. Just like this is magenta. I'm gonna have to go over the stuff again. Okay. Magenta. No. There's no multiple letters. It's magenta. No. Illegal. Magenta. Magenta. I say a lot of words pleasantly, apparently. Magenta. Okay, I might just be autism stemming off that now. Magenta. 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 This is our word of the day, chat. Magenta. Magenta. It's not going to leave our brains anytime soon. Everything shall be magenta. Magenta. What's wrong, Nazca? Is there something wrong with how I'm saying magenta? You have a pleasant voice in general. Aww. That's sweet, Demi. I try to sound nice. Magenta. Make it into a sound bit. You love how I say it. Maybe. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make it maybe I'll make it a redeem. Magenta. No, make Panic Screech a sound bit. No, because it's not as fun when it's not organic, I don't think. It has to happen naturally, otherwise, what's the point? You know I'm right. Magenta. But like, when is Magenta going to come up in a conversation? A random, like, stream conversation outside of a painting stream? Magenta. I do have a pleasant voice. Magenta. Ah. I'm trapped, just autism stemming on that word now. I don't mean to. Oh, who am I kidding? I don't mind it. I don't have a problem with it. I feel like no one in my community would have a problem with it either. Magenta. Ah. Ah. Why am I like this? Not that I'd want to change. I like who I am. But still. I'm just a silly little cat on the internet. Magenta. Magenta Phantasma. Magenta Phantasma sounds like a special move in an anime. Do you not think? You can just see, like, the guy there, like, stancing up to do his special attack. And suddenly, Magenta. I stream mini painting, probably half my audience is autistic as well. You can't just make that assumption about them. I mean, statistically, yes, but you can't just assume. You gotta get that diagnosis, innit? No, I know that's harder than it is, than it should be in a lot of places. I do know a lot of members of my community are on the spectrum. And I'm kind of glad I've got a space for them here. Magenta. I'm not sorry, chat. All will be Magenta. Damn, calling them out. Lol. Sometimes you gotta call people out, but not for personal conditions. Magenta. Ah! I can't stop now, chat. Look at what you've started. Look at what's happening to the stream. Everything is just Magenta. Magenta Phantasma. Why am I like this? Why? Oh, who am I kidding? I'm having a great time. Okay, I won't lie. This is gonna get done a lot sooner than I thought it would be. Possibly. No, that's a lie. There's still more we need to do. But, like, I feel like the hardest bits are basically all done. Well, the longest bit. No, the hardest bits are going to be doing all of the fluorescent green shit. That's the hardest bit. That might take a while. So we're going to probably go in... I don't know if I want to do a sponge. Yeah, probably a sponge highlight of silver across everything. Before we start doing the greens. Just because it's a bit darker than I'd like in places. Maybe I want to go in with a brush in some areas as well. Some of the recessed areas that I know I won't be able to reach, and make some small corrections. just need to blend in a little bit more of the Ionic Smart Paint into the cloak. A bit of me is starting to think that maybe Ionic Smart Paints are very much ink-based due to how they seem to reactivate with the medium and ink a little bit. That's what it feels like. I'm just moving parts of the paint around by accident. Or maybe it's the interaction with the contrast medium that's in the ink mixture. But I've never seen other people have this issue. What have you done? Magenta. Not always safe to get a diagnosis. In your country, there's talk of making an autism registry. Oh yeah, no, I understand. I understand. Getting a diagnosis in certain countries is kind of a little bit crazy right now. I say certain countries. I feel like there's only one in the world that I'm aware of where shit's really fucked up if you're autistic. And yeah, no, I understand, Demi. My bad. But from a medical point of view, I'm just like, you can, in fairness, I feel like most people who suspect that they've got autism probably do. Not always, but most of the time, it seems to be about right. Okay, so what I'm thinking, just the gentlest of silver highlights. I say highlight, I mean dry brush. Well, not necessarily a dry brush, a stipple highlight. With the old stipple nipple, also known as a makeup sponge. Man, I love sponge highlighting. I do wish I had smaller sponges, though. I mean, I'm sure I did buy smaller sponges, but I think I dropped the packet and they're lost in amongst the pile of shit in this room that I need to sort out at some point. Okay. I just very gently. Where do I want to go first? I think I'll go with Overlord. Just a little bit. Magenta. Just a little bit. Man, I can't believe how much the smart paints have bled down here. That's crazy. Kind of putting me off using them again, in all honesty. It's a shame because they're really nice paints. But I've never seen them do this before. I don't like it. It's doing me a concern, chat. I should go in and touch that up, though. And Phantom, as for what you've done, you've given us an autism stem. Have I painted a psychophage before? I don't even know what a psychophage is. What's a psychophage? You're gonna have to talk to me about that. Because no, I haven't. Is that sounds like it's a Tyranid thing. It feels like it's a Tyranid thing. Is that a correct assumption? I've not painted any Tyranids in my life. I do have the Combat Patrol for Tyranids, though. I may end up painting it if no one chooses it from our prize giveaways by the end of the year. Maybe I'll give it to Small, because he doesn't really have space or time to, like, paint it. So maybe I'll just paint it and send it to him and be like, ah! Ah! I knocked things over. What? I knocked over my tracking and my camera. What? Magenta. The big bug cutie eating a space marine. Oh, is that the one with the really big mouth? Didn't it come in Leviathan? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Oh no, I got a little bit of gold in this one. That's fine. That's fine. It's a little bit inconsistent, but I kind of like that. Okay. Ah. Now that that bit is done. Now that that bit is done. On to the next. It's gonna be quite a chill bit. We're just gonna paint some warp lightning in places. You just gave the bug heart to someone who wanted into the game. That's fair. Yeah, we're finding as time goes and we understand the complexity of the spectrum, more and more it's turning out that a big portion of the population is neurodivergent in one way or another. Yeah, but like neurodivergent is such like a blanket term. It covers so many different like ways people don't have what what mainstream society considers a normally functioning brain, and it's just like, bruh, there is no fucking normal. I think neurodivergent isn't necessarily an accurate term. You know what, actually, I think I know what I need to do with this. I'm gonna take some of this off. I think I know what I need to do with this. So we're gonna wet blend 2 different greens. Is my goal. So I wanna partition Hexwraith Flame and Warp Lightning across it, because Warp Lightning is a lovely emerald green. We'll just do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit up here. Up here. What I do want, though, is the blades to be quite a deep emerald green, because we are going to go in with neon green at a later point in the stream. Kind of wash everything out. That's going to be after we do a little pin wash with some white oil later into certain areas, which I'm sure you can probably guess which areas. Okay. We're just slowly doing the things. Nom, you just gave a bug half. Oh, wait, no, I read that already. I've often heard that the statement that neurodivergent is too generalized. The problem is it's specific. The specificity of diagnosis is actually the less accurate framing. Mental health is so unique to each individual that most diagnosis is just shoving symptoms into a box to bill insurance companies and government health agencies. That seems kind of silly. But then again, society is a complicated organism that doesn't always make a lot of sense. To say the least. Okay. These bits, and then we'll mimic shading on the front. Then we'll start blending in the Hexmark flame. Piece by piece. This bit in the back is going to look really cool with all of these like inlaid bits that we're going to get done in neon green. Okay, Hexwraith time. This is a much less saturated and brighter green. So I'm hoping that it'll be quite efficient to blend. We want overspill. That's the thing. We want overspill. Because we want that to be like a sort of bit of a pulsing kind of aesthetic for this. We want the colours to bleed into each other. I'm probably going to need to go back in with lightning to get it looking just right. Another thing I'm going to do with Hexwraith Flame, all the bits that kind of like fading out, add a little bit on there. I think it looks cool to have that sort of bright green. That's where all the energy is happening, right? It's the phasing effect. So if we have that kind of like sort of phasing, pixelating in and out, it'll look cool. I think, probably, hopefully. I don't know. I've never actually had to do. Actually, no, that's not true. I did a little bit of something like this with the Void Dragon. Do a little
It was at this moment that he knew.
What?
He fucked up.
What happened, Zombatron? When Gundam? You want me to do a Gundam? Ah! I could do a Gundam if you want. Tex. How you doing? What Gundam would you all like me to do? I do have an RX-78 too. I've been meaning to build. That's a master grade size scale one though. Pretty chunky. Pretty chunky. I'd probably paint that one on, honestly. Though I'm not sure how. I don't think I would want to have the original color scheme though if I painted it. Just because it's very plain, you know? Oh shit. Okay, we'll wait for that to dry before we do any more. Now, X-ray for the destroyer. I don't know just how much there's going to be on this guy. We'll start with Hexwraith Flame, and then we're probably going to add an extra darker layer of Warp Lightning to Recess Shade. Make sure we don't have a little bit of control and pull away any of the excess. Nice thing about this though is we've got all these little cables. If there's an excess, we can just kind of like just move it onto these, because they're all meant to be in the same color, aren't they? Definitely going to need to do a second coat on these cables.
More souls to feast upon!
Tyrannosaurus_Texan gifted a tier 1 subscription to Smolan
You
Strong.
glued a piece on backwards and had to tear it apart and glue it properly. Zombatron, that's not the worst thing in the world. The important thing is that you caught it before you moved on to another stage. Also, I'm glad that you've been able to make progress on your miniatures. Hey, Small, how you doing? And thank you so much, Tex, for the gift sub. I appreciate you. Wow. Also, I do need to... Actually, no, I don't think I've got your miniatures yet for the Combat Patrol giveaway. Okay. This is going to be so hard to do the whole neon thing too, I think. But it'll look good when it's done. I'm not a fucking rat, fuck you! I hate it here. Wow. Everyone is calling me a rat. Why? Magenta. Okay. There's so many fucking guns. He really is a Gloctopus. I'm not a fucking rat. I hate it here. Everyone just calls me a fucking rat. Why? 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 I do kind of like this whole doing Hexmark Flame, knowing I'm going to do Warp Lightning over it to like darken the bits that need darkening. The whole area is going to be just done in the green now. I really like Necrons. They feel just very chill. Like, they're just a very nice, relaxing thing to paint. Because, like, there's no stress. There's no, like, worry about how anything's going to look. Because it's all going to look, like, very simple, but really kind of effective. And because it's not exactly, they're not super humanoid, I don't really have to care that much. Because they're not, it's not that I don't care. It's more like I'm not trying to make this look like something that I know exists in real life, you know? It's just kind of a different vibe, you know? Which is very nice. It's very different from having to paint like human-centric factions all the time. Imagine it's the same painting stuff like Tyranids. I still need to do. I've still got like a whole bunch of Tyranids. But first I need to do Fungi's Combat Patrols, which I'm gonna try and have them done well, like definitely in the next month or two. My original plan was September. I might be able to get the Iron Hand started before the end of September. Probably get them done by the end of... Oh, actually, I just realized that the contrast paint is pooling down into the recesses there, and that actually kind of looks kind of cool. But it's not what I'm going for. Get out of there. Okay, I think we're done with Hexwraith for now. Now I need to get a detail brush and do some eye lenses. False commissar, this one is spreading falsehoods. Well, chinchilla. I can accept being a chinchilla. Look at me, I'm literally like a real life chinchilla, but purple with stripes. That's what I love about messy and is simply the aesthetic, yeah. And the great clean one, well. Very fuzzy, big fluff, exactly. Chinchillas are great. From all the videos I've seen of chinchillas, they also look like they're very chill pets to have. Oh god. Just realized I've missed it. Okay. I need to wait for things to dry a little bit before I can do the next stage. It's a little bit annoying on the Overlord, but that's fine. Just go in and do some shading. And the Hexmark. Increase the saturation a bit on these bits. And then also, chat, have you seen the Has-Been Hotel fucking trailer that came out today? It looks so sick. Like, it looks so good. I really can't wait. We'll do a little reaction for you after we're done painting for the night, and then we'll probably raid out after that. But we've still got quite a ways to go, so that won't be anytime soon. But it looks amazing. I can't wait for the new thing, the new season to come out. Let's see, what else? This bit of cabling I missed. Okay, now got the next guy. Good old Cryptek. Crippy the Cryptek. We are gonna go over this later with neon green when it all goes, when it's all finished and dry. Okay. I'm gonna take some of the excess paint that's very clearly on there, pull it around to the other side. Okay. I think that works for now. Yeah. Yeah. What are we thinking, chat? What next? What next? What's next? The main I think I know what the main thing I need to do is for now. I think I can start, well, yeah, the face blades are dry. I can start work on those, which should go a long way to making our plan for this kind of start moving forward. The real question is there any other bits of silver I need to go over where there's been some gold spillage? A little bit there. Where's my sponge? There's still some gold, some silver paint on it. Okay. Let's do the thing. I need some white spirit, and we're just going to mix up some white oil paint. A little bit of white oil paint. Oh, fuck. That spilled a little bit too much. Clean that up. Okay. There's already quite a bit of white paint on the palette, so I'm not entirely sure I need to add any more, but it's also kind of cured to the bottom of the little oil well we've got here. We don't want to mess up the furrow. I say messing up the furrow. Fuck it. I'm not patient. I'm not a patient person. You should all know this about me by now. I'm gonna get a smidge. Just a smidge. I don't know if anyone actually wants to see the whole oil paint thing. Just in case we can show this off. So this we're going to use as a recess into... it needs to be a bit thicker than this though, honestly. It's hard, especially with when you're trying to do this stuff. You don't want it too thin, but if it's... You don't want it too thick, but if it's too thin, then it just won't do the thing you want it to do. Because you don't want it to be mostly spirits, because that's just not going to be good for your miniature. What? Okay. I left my juice in the other room. I should go and get it. Okay. Any minute now, this will be finished. Okay, we'll do the white inlays. Let's see. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. So, in case you were wondering, what I did was I just tapped it on the back. We want the white. We want the white oil paint to kind of seep into cracks naturally, and have good coverage over them. So, if you tap it on the back of your hand, and it flows directly into all of the wrinkles on your skin, then it's about right. It's about the right consistency. And yeah, it is this Translocation shroud, Overlord. He's a very cool miniature. One of my favorites, honestly, in the Games Workshop catalog. If you just tap it, just a little tap. Maybe just tap it again. A little bit more. It'll naturally like fill in any reservoirs. And you can just use your thumb, wipe any excess away. Why? Why would you do that at such a crucial juncture? They keep selling out. Oh, I mean, it is a very cool model. I absolutely understand. It just be that way. But yeah, it's just really nice being able to just tap it and watch the paint just flow naturally. There's just something very pleasing about it, you know? But you know what else is pleasing? Magenta. Magenta. And we're going to do the same with this bit back here. And that bit in the back is going to look so cool when it's all glowing. You're sorry, you're cute and evil. Wow. Good night, Nazco. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's always lovely, lovely to see you. What? Do I want to put any on here? Maybe little bits here and there. I do want to maybe dry brush a lighter green over the translocation field, honestly. Just a little bit inconsistent. A little bit inconsistently over some of the pixely bits. Okay, that should do. Are there any other bits? Oh, this bit. Now, what do you think? It's too much. Too much. But just like that, that should be okay. Now, for the hex... Oh, actually, what else? I want to do these bits under here. I've seen a lot of people do, like, the inner bits that show out glowing, and I quite like that. Still got some bits on the Overlord skin that might have some bit. No, it's just that one bit. Okay. Got these bits in the back as well. And this is the problem. You want to be very careful because the spirits in it can, in fact, tear off some of the paint that you've been working on. Okay. Just, again, doing the same inlay thing as before. It takes a little while. I can't get in there, so I'm not going to try that bit. But once this is all done, the last thing I want to do is get these little rib bits sorted. In all honesty, if he wasn't a character, I probably wouldn't bother, but I think it's just to make him look a little bit cooler. Do I want to do this bit? Yeah. Strangely enough, all the Necrons that were selling out fast when you started before 9th edition launched. Really? I mean, I feel like Necrons have always been quite a popular faction. They're just cool. Why? There's probably someone out there. Probably someone must play Necrons other than you, Andy. It is a very, statistically speaking, Necrons are a very popular faction. They are a very popular faction, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are other players than you. There could also be mail order stuff as well, so you might not be able to just get it straight from your local store if other people are buying it from there. Which I know is annoying, because that kind of defeats the purpose of a local store. But yeah, it happens. I don't think I'm going to go all the way down with the glowy stuff, because that's just going to take ages. And I do have work tomorrow, unfortunately, so I kind of am trying to keep this paint job relatively concise. Oh god, there's a loose fibre on this brush. Let's get rid of that. I forgot to do this green bit. Green. That's fine, it'll just be very bright neon later. Just gonna get in on all these rib bits. Now we're gonna do the wire guts as well. A little bit more tissue to rub away the excess there. Swoopy skeletons are cool. Yes. Yes, they are. Okay, what else? A little bit there. We'll do a little bit on the I don't even know what this is called. Little flying bugs that he uses. Flying disc machine thing. Necron flying Nimbus. It is admittedly a little bit later than I would like it to be already, but we are going to get this done today, I think. I'm confident. Okay. I think that works. I think that works. Right, next thing's next. Cha! The Triforce, kind of. Space Skeleton Triforce, here we go. Wait, I need to mix this paint a little bit. Don't worry about the noise. Don't worry about it. Trust me. Don't worry about it. Okay. Magenta. Ah. I don't know why this is our autism. Actually, I know exactly why. It's because you guys came up with it and it's a good autism sim. Magenta. 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 Just like when we painted the Void Dragon, what we're going to do is we're just going to go over... I'm going to go over certain bits, and then we're going to kind of hint other parts of it back down. Gently wash this, and then we'll go over it with a darker green later. Just bring it back down. I don't remember the screen being quite so prominent before. But that's fine. If it goes on easy, that just means it's gonna get the effect we want a little bit easier. I'm enjoying kind of blending it all together on the thing. How you doing, Char? The ritual. Lol. I can't believe you've done this. I haven't done anything. Magenta. Magenta. I'm glad that you're good. It's a nice change from before. I hope things are getting better for you, Char. Okay. bit weird. I was thinking maybe. Okay. What do we think, chat? Think he's starting to look the part? Might be a bit too much neon. I might need to pull some of that away. I like how he's turned out, pretty much. It's almost done, I'd say. Thank you, Matt Doll. Thank you. These are Necrons. So these are a species originally called the Necron tier, who made a pact with beings called the Catan so that they could stave off the space cancer that they were getting, basically. Space super cancer that was killing them whenever they went out and tried to explore the galaxy. And then they got tricked and turned into robots, and all their souls got eaten by the Catan. So yeah, sucks to be them, but they're really cool. They're like space Terminators. They kind of are. The more higher up ones have a bit more of their personality. They're not kind of robots. They're living things that have been turned into machines. But some of them are still kind of, like, how much of an automaton they are really depends on what they are. Like, all of their little scaraby creations, yeah, they're all robots, basically. Oh, I don't think that's dry yet. Fuck. Is that? That looks dry. I'm pretty happy with how the glow effect I've learned it kind of works, honestly. It's very simple. A lot easier than I thought it would be. It's like I tried it for the first time on the Void Dragon, and since then it's just been like, yeah, I can just add this to anything. And I know how to do it for, like, say, plasma glow as well. We'll get there eventually. Neon green over oil white is such a nice kind of easy way to do the glow effects. They're spooky, snooty, sleepy people who really want all these damn kids off their lawn. Yeah, another important detail, the old ones, godlike ancient psychic frog aliens, refused to help them when the Necron tier asked them. So their bitterness and desire for revenge on the old ones was also a big motivator in accepting the deal, despite the Catan being sus as fuck. That's true. That is true. And you know why? Because were literally like, nah, you guys had no souls. They thought the Necrons were ginger, and that was basically it. That was basically it. Fucking racist. But like, who in Warhammer 40k isn't racist in some way? I feel like all the factions have a little bit of prejudice against someone else. Except maybe the Tau. But don't worry, the Tau will learn. Eventually. In fact, some of the Tau have already learned. Started killing some of their auxiliaries because of the sus shit that happened in the warp. We're not going to do a full-on cable-y glow. We're just going to add a little bit of glow to these cables. Why we didn't paint them in white. So just a little bit of a neon green coating on them. I think the pistols are a little bit harder to get the neon green looking good on, in all honesty. Actually, that reminds me, there's something else I've forgotten. The ribs and the inner guts of the Overlord. Yeah. A little bit of an inner glow. Now the eyes. I wanted to do the little line down the middle as well. I really like the Hexmark Destroyer as a model. Also, another great thing about doing this. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? It was here just a minute ago. I've dropped it somewhere. Oh no. Where's my little torchy board? I'm sure it was here. It was here at the start of the stream. Oh, did I knock it off somewhere? I must have. Man. I wanted to show off the blacklight effect on it. It was going to look so cool. I've lost it. It must have rolled off somewhere. I don't think this is it. No, this isn't it. Yeah. Fuck. Damn. Well, bugger. Probably rolling under my desk somewhere. That's annoying. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, UV paints are very fun. UV paints are very fun. Very fun to play with. But yeah. I'm pretty happy. Okay, I need to tidy up this, the blade on this guy's, on the Overlord. At some point. We'll get to that at the end. But otherwise, I feel like he's pretty good for the tabletop. We'll need to deepen some contrast around the silver here. I also realized I missed a couple of bits here and there. So I'll have to go over that. But that's okay. I might go over it while it's still wet and just blend the colours in. It kind of just works doing that. I kind of wish there was a neon oil paint that behaved like the white oil paint I put on before this. You know? It'd just be nice to get something that just flows right into where I need it to go. But I think that's probably asking a bit too much. Getting a decent acrylic neon color is already a pain. I do have some fluorescent oil paint sticks, but like, they're an absolute pain in the ass to break down into actual oil paint. They're like, the idea is that you're meant to like use them like a oil pastel. And, you know, that's not really suitable for this format of painting. Which is unfortunate, but here we are. Angie, wow. Wait, did that actually happen? Did that play? Did the effect happen? I don't know if it did. It did? Okay. Good. Good. I often worry, because I've got mix-up now. And, oh my god, it was right in front of me. How did I not see it? But yeah. You see what I mean about the UV effect? It's a fun little bit of paint, really. It's fun to play with. I don't necessarily think it looks the best on the table. Like I don't think this is suitable for like say competition painting. But for doing cool things and maybe having like a black light for your tabletop room, which I do want to get at some point. Like just a lamp to so that like we can do like fucking crazy lighting effect battles would be really fun. Like we could do Shadow in the Warp and then just turn on a black light to flood the room and it would look really cool. If I'm ever fighting Tyranids. Or like if there's some cool narrative stuff going on. You know? Silly shit that doesn't actually make a difference to the gameplay. But stuff that like would be cool to just add to the like the stage. Like how people have like their battle effects and explosions and stuff. It'd be fun, you know? Just a little bit of extra fun for the game. That's all I really want. Okay, well. When this is done, what we're gonna have to do, go in the darker green and just kind of like tidy up around. Really the reason why we wash it is partly to give it a bit of an overall kind of wash to pull everything together. But mostly because it's the most effective way of getting in the cracks. You can also use it as a bit of a highlight honestly, on all of the edges. Okay. Right. What's next? Not too much, thankfully. We do need to base them, but we'll do that off stream. It's just going to be PVA glue and then my jar of dirt I usually use. Jar of city rubble dirt. But now we just need to tidy up some bits. I'm pretty happy with how, especially this guy, I'm pretty happy with how he looks, honestly.
Do you hear the voices too?
Red Crusader just followed.
Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you have a lovely, lovely time in our community. Why do they keep the Emperor in the chair? That's the Golden Throne. That's his life support system. It's the thing that keeps him alive, but it simultaneously is killing him. I say keeps him alive. He's a perpetual. But, like, it helps him regenerate by, like, letting people funnel psychic power into him, but it also, like, drains him of his essence so that he can power the Astronomicon, which is the thing that lets navigators know what they're doing when it comes to warp travel. It's a kind of catch-22. He kind of has to stay on there. Otherwise, you know, there's no way for humanity to navigate the stars. I'm sure he wants to leave because, like, he wants to be strapped to a death fucking machine that's slowly killing you every day. Every day he's reborn and killed again. But it's gotten to the point now where it's not really able to keep him alive anymore. I mean, he's not able to, like, out-heal how much it's killing him. So, yeah, the Golden Throne is failing. Just going in, shading a little bit around all of these bits, just to make it pop a bit more, because you want it to be kind of a bit darker than the glowy bit around it. You know what I mean? Like a nap. Yeah, totally. Like a nap. Yeah. Well, totally. I love naps, though, so I totally understand if the Emperor's just having a big snooze. Who doesn't love a nice nap? For real. We're just tidying some bits up. Okay, I think, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'd basically call this guy done at this point, other than the basing. But I'll do that just before bed, so I can take pictures of it in the morning, hopefully, if I have time before work. clean because I felt like there was probably just a little bit too much on there. I'm a bit annoyed at myself. I forgot to do everything on this Cryptek in the early stages. I think it's coming back to bite me now. But it's fine. Okay. What's next? This bit here. Okay. Just kind of going in and making sure that the area around the glowy bit is really dark by comparison. It's all about just making contrast to define the shapes a little bit more. And I think that's kind of done the job we needed it to. Yeah. It's just a little guy and his bug. I'm going to need to go in and do some more metallic shading though on this guy. It definitely is not even a maybe, it's a absolutely has to happen. Well, we'll do that at the end. What else needs to be on? I don't know that there's any more I really need to do on the Cryptek, on the Hexmark, honestly. Maybe just add a little bit of a tint to darken. More no, actually, no, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just gonna add more. I'm just gonna add more fluorescent green. Yeah, it needs to be. It needs to have higher saturation in these little bits. These little. I don't know what they're called. The little chambers on his guns. They're just not as high saturation as they could be, I think. And we just need to just add more paint. Just more paint. Okay. This bit here is really annoying me. I think that's all we can do for now. We need to leave that to dry. Okay. Oh, fuck, there's something really important I've forgotten. Something incredibly important. The fucking resurrection orb. How did I miss that? So, for the resurrection orb, I think it needs to look a bit different to the rest. So we're going to start by doing it in contrast Dark Angel's green because I want it to be a lot darker than the rest. I want it to really stand out. Then when that's dry, I'll show you my cool idea for how we're going to do it. It's going to have a little bit of a glow to it as well. I'm going to start with that contrast. Then when that's dry, we're going to try and do like a marble effect, but with the neon green. Is my plan. Well, we've done marble effects before, so it should be doable. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, so a nice little marble effect on the resurrection orb. Just add a tiny little, it'll just be a little detail, but it'll be one that like we notice even if no one else does. And that's going to be the cool thing. And we'll try and add a little bit of OSL, highlighting on the area around it. Now this guy is actually a little bit of a mess, so it's just gonna tidy him up a little bit. Got my ionic black metal. I do quite like this. It's very creamy, this paint. It's quite nice. I'm gonna blend that outwards a little bit. Slightly annoyed with myself at just how much I may have messed this up, but that's fine. It happens. The important thing is that we're getting back on track. And it's gonna look pretty decent in the end. Okay. That's starting to look a little bit better, a little bit neater, a little bit higher contrast. Everything we wanted. Clean that up, and then we'll move on to a much brighter colour. For a little highlight. Ionic silver. I wish it were possible that drops were smaller, because I don't need that much of this paint. It sounds a little bit silly, but like, you know. This isn't quite as bright as I thought it was, in all honesty. But we'll switch to Vallejo Silver after this, I think. I think this one will do well just in here. Yeah. Okay. The final silver highlight. Bring us exactly where we want to go. Okay. Okay. That kind of works. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I definitely think my favorite is that we've done tonight is definitely the translocation the translocation the translocation shroud overlord. Overlord with translocation shroud. Yes. Magenta. Okay. Now, the final thing I want to do before we try and base these guys. Actually, I don't need to do that. We're just gonna do a little marbling effect. A little marbling effect on this. It might not work actually. No, I think I know what I need to do. I need to do this in white before I do this in green. I need to do this in white because otherwise it's just not going to work. Because the fluorescent paint needs a white, or at the very least a brighter undercoat before it kind of even becomes visible. We're going to take. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a tiny little grey one. There's not really... I would like there to be more surface on this. Like, I kind of wish I had the old Necron Lord for this kind of effect. You know, the one with the Resurrection Orb and the great big scythe. I don't know where you can get them, but I think I'd like something like that. Because it'd be a lot easier to do this kind of, like, marbling effect I'm trying to do here on it. With that done, if I just kind of just go over it with the fluorescent, it should show up nicely now. And we're gonna have to go back in and redo the marbling, but like reversed, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Leave that to dry for a minute. While that's drying, I guess I can get started with basing. Where's my jar of fucking basing dirt? It's gonna be here somewhere. Leave that to dry. It's gonna be here somewhere. Where's my jar of dirt? Where's my jar of dirt? The fucking jar of dirt. How hard is it to miss? Why am I like this tonight? Always losing track of everything that's right in front of me. It was on this desk. Oh, it's behind me. Never mind. Never mind. I will consume liquid. I will. Ah. Ah. Okay. So we're going to start with the Hexmark. We're just going to spread some of this PVA glue around on his base, and then we're just going to dip him in the jar. I do think I need to probably go over his guns again, but I can do that after it's based. So we're just dunking him in the jar. There. Nice and simple, easy basing. Nice and simple, easy basing. Just like that. We're just gonna spread that around again. Okay. Into the jar of dirt you go. Okay. And now, just gonna... Just wanna, I saw something, I just wanna... Go in here. Now that that's done. Right. We go in with I quite like doing dark bases for my Necrons, just because they're very bright and shiny and silvery. I just think it makes the most sense. I do think I'm gonna go in, do a little OSL dry brush for some extra kind of texture. Well, texture's not the right word, is it? Just kind of make him feel a bit more in where he's based, if that makes sense. Just around where he's got those translocation coils. I don't know what else I meant to call them. Translocation coils? What do you call these bits, chat? Translocation coils is what I'm calling them. Just so it looks a little bit less just monotone. Okay. With that bit done, let's go in and try and make this thing look a little bit like a Palantir. A little bit like a green Palantir. Let's call it a green shade. That's not what I'm looking for. A little bit of me is wondering if there's even any sense in trying to make this look like anything, but I think you can kind of see what I'm going for. If the lighting would actually show up properly. Translocation, god damn it. Mage my head, please note. This is Edward Sidious, lol. I'm surprised that's not like done the rounds on like Grim Dank or something like that, in all fairness, demo. And if you're wondering if you've seen my general color scheme before, and the little creature in the jar in the bottom left, that's me on Grim Dank, posting all the memes almost every single day. I am the silly creature online. I've also realized I need to paint a bit more here. Fuck! Just when I think I'm done. No, I'm not. I just need to tidy up the little creature here as well. Just a little bit. Okay. Right. The final thing, the final task that faces us today is very easy. Very, very easy. I'm going to take my fancy AK play marker, which is incredibly useful, especially for this particular phase. Because it's just a little paint pen. A little paint pen. And we just rim the bases. Oh, I don't get. I look at OBS and then I look at Twitch and I'm just like, this looks very different from one screen to the next. Oh. Oh, I'm not just in those. I'm in every fucking meme group. I am in every single meme group. I don't care about whatever other shit they go on. I'm there to shitpost. I'm there to shitpost and occasionally talk about painting and the hobby. Also, what do you all think of Shadowheart's new 40k model? Everyone's saying that she doesn't look like a Dark Eldar, but I'm just like, do you remember what they looked like back when they first launched? They were hot. They were hot as fuck. Some of them had silly hair, but like the actual Dark Eldar They were just like exactly the same as regular Eldar, just styled like BDSM elves. And I think everyone was about that. The good old late 90s, early 2000s GW era, where Juan Diaz made everything fucking sexy if he could, and it was great. Everyone misses the old Demonettes and the old Sister Impentia. They will never be forgotten. I'm surprised GW hasn't like tried to do like you know, a limited run made to order thing. They'd sell like hotcakes. So many Battle Sisters players would go after those original Repentia. Or those 2003 Demonettes. These markers make painting the rim even quicker. Well, yeah, because it's like perfectly mixed, self-contained acrylic paint with really good coverage. And you just, it's like the perfect size. You just fucking go for it. And if it starts to dry out, you just tap it and you get more paint on your brush. Because it is actually just a brush tip. I wouldn't recommend these for detail work, but if you're like trying to like say do vehicle work, this would probably be really good actually. Like when I get a Necron monolith, it's going to be like a lot of these paint markers are going to be used for it. I do want to get the speed paint marker set at some point though. The army painter one, because they've just released a set of speed paint markers like this, and I genuinely think that that's probably going to be like one of the best things ever for like getting an army together quickly. Especially if it's very vehicle-based. Like, say, Imperial Knights. Also, doing freehand with these is going to be a breeze. Like, and if you're someone with me who has nerve damage, like, has difficulty holding a lot of the finer detail brushes, the chunkiness of this is just perfect. But yeah, I've got a whole set of them. Like, a whole massive set. There's like, fucking... I don't know. There's a lot of colored pens in here. I've only used like a couple of them, but like it's a full set. How do I make it so you guys can see this? It's very big is the problem, so I can't like just put it on the camera. But like there's so many. I always keep them in the thing so I don't lose any. But this is just the top layer. There's like another bunch of paints, and it's basically the entire AK interactive range. Like for real. There's so many paints. I need to find reasons to use them more. And I'm sure I will someday. But just not on these miniatures. I'll probably use them a lot when I'm doing the Grand Cathay army. I'm going to probably do after I've done... Oh, actually, I know what I'm going to use them for. Doing fucking hazard stripes on Fungi's Iron Warriors when I get round to them. Probably in the next month or so. There's a bit of... Yeah, that should be fun. But yeah, let's zoom in a little bit on these guys. Because I'm basically done for the night. Unless chat, you guys can spot anything that I haven't yet. I don't really think there's much left to do on them. Let me make sure the focus is... I'll just bring them up close. I quite like how these have turned out. Like, I think I've been able to get the job for these to be tabletop ready pretty quickly. I mean, I'd probably say they're better than just tabletop ready, but like, I wouldn't enter these into a competition or anything, but that's because they're just my personal miniatures. I don't think it didn't take nearly as long to do these guys as it did the Void Dragon. I'm very happy. Like, considering I did 3 characters in an evening, I didn't properly speed paint them the way I normally do my Necrons. Like, cause doing my normal Necrons saves like my infantry. I could probably have gotten 2 squads done in this time. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how they turned out, honestly. Especially when you consider the time. Yeah, Army Painter came out with speed paint marker. Fun fact, the Dark Eldar came about originally from early edition fans, kit bashing chaos themed Eldar armies. W just and wrote them into the setting. That's cool. I love old GW. They always tried to make cool stuff. Let's find someone to raid into, shall we, chat? So tomorrow, we're just going to be doing some indie game reviews. Just some chill indie game reviews with people. I feel like I want to try and find a paintery person doing some Warhammer, but everyone's playing fucking Silk Song, so... Everyone's playing Silk Song. Why is everyone playing Silk Song? Holy shit. I know it's new, but, like, where are all my autistic Warhammer fans at? Where are my people? You're all fucking lost in Silk Song. Last second Voga. Hey, senpai. How you doing? Oh, is Pink streaming? I know she said she was going to try and stream. I don't see her online, though. Yeah, I literally know no one who's doing anything Warhammer related right now. Punk is on. Oh yeah, there she is. Oh, I see. That's why. I didn't notice her in her bunny suit. It's because it's not her usual get-up. Hollow Knight is one of the best Metroidvanias of all time. I've never played Hollow Knight. I will play Hollow Knight at some point, chat. Probably in the next, like, donathon, subathon thing. But yeah. Thank you all so much, chat. I have Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's been in my library for ages. I might have booted it up at one point and then played it a bit and then put it down and been like, I'm going to play this later. And then just never got back to it. It was fun, though. If I remember right. It looks fun. I don't remember. But yeah, so tomorrow we're going to be doing indie game reviews. On Thursday, I won't be streaming, but I will be playing Baldur's Gate with Pink, who I'm raiding into. On Friday... I did say I was going to squeeze in an extra Space Marine 2 with chat stream before I do Night Rain again. I don't know if I'm going to, in all honesty. I might not stream on Friday. I'm going to leave it to depend on how tired I am at work. No stream on Thursday. There is a stream. It's Baldur's Gate with Pink. I'm just not going to be live for it because it's her first playthrough and her campaign. I'm just there to be Karlach and yeet people into walls and other people. And then on Saturday, I'm meant to be playing D&D on Saturday. Not alive for it. That's true, I'm a Necron, I'm not alive. Lol. Magenta. 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 Bye. Mwah.